Welcome to Flim Clash, a Chat Bout Flim original. Today's show will be sponsored by Action Jamaica, Expose Your Talent. Today's topic will be Best Netflix Original Show, and will be argued by Simon, who's back in Stranger Things.
Upside down.
Jamar, who's bringing the crown. And Shayne with Ozark.
I don't have little fingers.
All right.
Nigga.
Yo, let's get this clash going.
Simon, start us off.
All right. First things first. This is a clash, and I just need everybody to understand that I think Stranger Things is the best Netflix original show. First of all, it's one of the only shows out there right now that is modern yet nostalgic at the same time. That's the first thing that I feel about Stranger Things. Others have tried it, but not as good as Stranger Things. Two, we can't get over the fact that these kid actors are killing these scenes better than some adult actors out there. And I think that when we put it up against some of the other shows, yes, Narcos and those shows are good, but these are things we've seen before. Stranger Things found a way to take the supernatural and make it relatable, make it nice. And let's not even talk about how the graphics are good, the performances are good, the soundtrack is amazing, and I got a chance to feel like I'm watching something that would be on VHS. It brought me back to those Disney type of days. It brought me back to that same type of action that we have in modern, I guess you could say, superhero films and things like that. And I personally just feel like, yo, when we're looking on shows, what do I want? I want a show that will give me everything. You get the action, you get the emotional side of it, you get a little bit of horror, you get a little bit of suspense. I can't think what Stranger Things doesn't give me. Yes, I know you have the Crown and Ozark coming up, but for me personally, Stranger Things kind of blankets everything that I want. I was entertained, I was emotional, and I'm talking throughout the 3 seasons. You know what I mean? Progression of show, that's also another thing that is good about Stranger Things. Right? We see these characters as kids grow to be more responsible, grow to be kind of young adults. And overall, I don't see which Netflix original really topples it. And with the 3 seasons so far, I don't think it has failed. While there are many other shows out there that started off great, but failed. That is it.
Okay. All right. Woo! Jamar, go ahead.
All right, The Crown. For me, The Crown started off as a patriarchy. It started off when Queen Elizabeth's father was in rule. It transitioned into Queen Elizabeth's rule, and it showed her growth over the years. What it did for me, it is a docuseries, but it doesn't feel like a docuseries. It is so much truth, but there's so much theater in it. And I mean, what else could you ask for? A lot of people will learn things about the monarchy that they didn't know. I certainly learned a lot. There's a lot of stop and go and research this, fact check this. Everything was on point, but there was so much drama. It's like stepping into the Queen's life and seeing her as a human being. A lot of times, people look upon the monarchy as like them a superhero or something. Like, there was even this one time I heard that the Queen doesn't shit. I mean, I'm just saying, yo, you get me? So for me, what it did was it took so much facts and it put so much drama and emotional connection to the story. That is the truth. So I mean, for me, The Crown does it. Stranger Things, good, Simon, I love it. But I mean, if you're not really a die-hearted fan of we call it sci-fi, it isn't for you, and that's the complaint of a lot of people.
That's your time?
That's me.
You have more time, you don't. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's me.
Shayne, go
Once
ahead.
I'm done. Clack, clack, clack.
So yeah, that was it, eh?
No, that's your time.
Yeah, I know.
You're
This is me now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It's your time.
And that was it.
You want
Roll
his
up.
15 seconds?
No, I don't need that much time.
That's not allowed. I don't think.
By the way.
Nobody interrupted it.
Sorry.
Exactly.
Said we're start already. Anyway. Alright, so my selection is Ozark. What about Ozark that I like? It's a somewhat relatable piece. the characters I find can be very, reminds me of people that I know, but in situations that I know these people would never find themselves. And I find that to be very, very interesting. You're talking about an accountant. So something that would most people consider a very boring occupation. And the mayhem that occurs throughout his life, not just with the whole drug part of it, but within the family life and how that spills over, is something that I find very, very exciting. In terms of the gratuitous violence, the surprises, all of those things that I love about TV shows, all of these things are boiled up and mixed into it. And as I said, it's really a now piece more so than a piece about a specific time or a specific genre. It speaks to, relatable, relevant issues, and it is hilarious. One of the things about it as well is that as serious as the topic line may be, you don't stop laughing, and even laughing at how disturbed you are. It's a piece will touch you. It have the same emotional kind of connections as the rest of the piece because the characters are very personable. It carry you through character arcs, the whole love like hate of a character that I love as well. It's not like I was like, okay, I like this character, and he's like, no shit, I don't like you anymore. Like that whole, journey. So those are the things I find very endearing about a show like Ozark, and it's just badass, real badass, bad man, enough killing a go on kind of thing. And I think a show where you talk about a clash, that is a clash.
All right, and that's time. All right, guys. Well, we heard everyone's opening remarks. Now we're going to get into their rebuttals, starting off with Simon.
Listen, let me just say this straight up. Crown is just a very expensive Wikipedia page. That is all that the Crown is. It's just, how can we glamorize people who I give no shits about? It's so beautifully done, but it's so boring. It's just rich white people complaining about them rich white life. Oh no, I can't marry this person. You never need to tell nobody you have money. Everything the show give me I can find on a Wikipedia page. That's that. Ozark, listen. Ozark is really just an all lives matter Breaking Bad. It's like, let me just try do over Breaking Bad with a bunch of people who are less interesting than Walt and them. That's all that Ozark is. Just trying to say, let me find this regular white man and let me give him some money laundering drug job, and let me just show you how other white people make bad decisions around him. Well done, good show. But when it comes to the overall quality of a show, Stranger Things trump that for me. Like, even when Stranger Things goes into the upside down and that overall flipped world, to me is just a greater watching experience than the Wikipedia page / let's try to remix Breaking Bad Ozark. It's like, alright, let me take a community that nobody would ever write anything about and drop 2 Mexican and some gun in that.
But that's the shit. Thank you for proving my point.
No, that's not the shit. It is a type of shit, but it's just like, it's just one dimensional. It's one dimensional. So it's good for what it is.
Far from one dimensional.
It's good for what it is.
Far from one dimensional.
It's good for what it is, but outside of that, it doesn't give me everything that Stranger Things
It
give
might
me.
not be
All right,
fourth
that's
dimensional.
Hey.
No,
Sir. Please.
Thank you, moderator.
Wally.
The man that tried Donald Trump the thing.
All right, Jamar.
We just need a fly for just go up on Jamar head.
All
now.
right.
Bumbuckler.
Isn't there one there already?
All right, order.
Fuck right off.
Jamar, your
Go ahead,
rebuttal
Mike
time.
Pence.
They're easy
So-
to do.
Alright, fine. Stranger Things. Zian? What did Stranger Things do new? Not one goddamn shit. Everything that was done in Stranger Things, you can find it in any 80s sci-fi movie. Not one goddamn shit. The only thing that's done better is the graphics, the cinematography. That's it. And that's all technical shit. From a story standpoint, nothing new was done. It's a repeat of the old shit. It just looked more glamorous. So, They might want to take a page out of the Crown book when you're talking about glamour. So enough of that. Enough of
I'm
that.
sorry, my characters don't have royalty.
And if all you see was a bunch of rich people arguing about them rich life in the Crown, you learn nothing, my friend. Absolutely nothing. You that gaze, you drop asleep at night. You not pay attention.
I learned it on the Wikipedia page.
Same goddamn thing. You never watch The Crown, clearly.
But if I drop asleep in it, doesn't that mean it boring?
No, sir.
Nope.
Continue.
That means you learn nothing. Anyways, as for Ozark, Ozark is a tough one for attack because a lot of the things that Shayne brought up about Ozark, I absolutely share the same sentiments in loving it. But I mean, the violence, cliche, a good man turn out to make a shit out time life and I try to keep him head above water, overplayed. Pickney,
But real.
Pickney, a daughter we're just straight defiant and every day one just say no to our parents, overplayed. That's constantly overdone. So I mean, come on. The Crown is the shit.
Is that your time?
Is that my time? Is that my time?
Okay. All right.
It is now. Done. Time up.
All right. Shayne, go ahead.
Stranger Things represents nostalgia. And Simon had said that is the only show that does that. As somebody who actually grew up in the 80s.
And 70s.
Which shows my wisdom.
Almighty sage.
Know that the gentlemen have, submitted that.
Right.
It overplays on nostalgia, but however, there are TV shows that do play on nostalgia, and they are on Netflix as well. Cobra Kai is one of them that I just finished watching as well. Mm-hmm. So, and it's a niche science fiction kind of thing that if people are not into that, demogorgons and fourth dimensions, which can fly over some people's heads. No, I watch TV for pure entertainment, right? I don't watch TV to learn. That's what books are for. So Jamar is clearly, gathering his education from watching Netflix shows. No, I don't know if that is, if that represents any.
And we have another case of not paying attention.
In a real,
but anyways,
in somebody's fantasy, and he's taking it as actual history and that sort of thing, Yeah, and the characters, like you're talking about overplay tactics. How many Queen Elizabeth movies are we going to be subjected to? Our stories, like the monarchies played a part in its time. It's boring now. Please, write a story, That's my whole thing. Like, okay, when are you actually going to write a story? It's like a comic book thing, It's you just take a couple of pages and put it.
So you want fiction?
And then I want imagination and creativity.
Okay.
And that may have come across with the shooting. And Ozark fulfills all that imagination and creativity.
All right, that's time. Wow, that was a spicy round. Now we're going to get into everybody's closing remarks.
All right. Just to close, I'm going to just focus again on Stranger Things. One of the things that I really enjoyed about Stranger Things and why I think it's one of the best, if not the best Netflix original show, is that it doesn't feel like a Netflix show to me. Mind you, Crown and Ozark may feel somewhat unique, but as I said, there are still some things that it's comparable to. Crown being comparable to a documentary, and Netflix does a lot of documentaries. It has that type of pacing. And then Ozark being comparable to other Breaking Bad and stuff like that, which isn't necessarily a Netflix original, but it's just another show. For me, I can't really see what is like Stranger Things in terms of all of the qualities that it comes with, the performances that it comes with, and the fact that it's a feel-good horror action kid show all in one. It's for everybody.
Cool.
That's it? That's your time?
That's it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Jamar, go ahead.
Alright, so a lot of the throwbacks against the Crown was, the educational side. That's just the icing on the cake for me. The audio was superbly done. The cinematography, the costume, the setting, it was superbly done. So I don't have any issues where that is concerned. Yeah, that's it for me.
Oh, you just
Yeah,
used
short
half
and
your
spicy.
time.
Yeah.
All right. No problem. No problem.
Man, say what you have to say.
Yeah.
Cool. Shayne, go ahead.
Ozark represent the story of a man and his family, which is a very relatable thing.
Aww.
As many have said it may have been overdone, but besides a show like Breaking Bad, I actually don't know any other show that takes the ordinary man and turns him into almost a psychopath in that way. The journey of it is extremely engaging. It's not just the gratuitous violence. The violence in it is not cliche. It's actually quite surprising. It is extremely well written. The dialogue in it is superb, and I believe the dialogue trumps both The Crown and Stranger Things. It's definitely not a show for kids as like Stranger Things, but I wouldn't necessarily consider Stranger Things entirely for kids either.
Kids who can handle horror.
You know?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But in just closing, I would just say Ozark represents the story of a family who made some bad mistakes, and it's very relatable.
All right, and that's time. Okay, well, guys, that was Flim Clash. Please comment below and tell us who you bring in for this Flim Clash. And your winner will be revealed next week. Check us out on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok at Chat Bout Flim. And when we're not arguing here, we still argue on our podcast, Chat Bout Flim. And you can check that out on Anchor Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and all major podcasting platforms. Bye.
Big up.
Yeah.